welcome to Public Global. I'm Neelu Vyas. In the run-up to the Bihar Assembly elections, a song which is titled as Modi Hai To Mumkin Hai was released on YouTube on September 22nd by T-Series, and this song has sparked a debate. Several social media users, including leaders from opposition parties, noted that the video received a large number of dislikes. Now, to support this, they shared screenshots showing both likes and dislikes, where the number of dislikes outnumbered the likes. Now, the video features Bollywood stars such as Rajkumar Rao, Varun Dhawan, Arshad Varsi, and Vikrant Massey. Now, claiming that the song was unpopular, Congress spokesperson Supriya Shrinate shared a screenshot on October 16th, and she wrote on that, the song Modi Hai To Mumkin Hai has caused a lot of embarrassment. It has 16 lakh views. The number of likes is 13,000, while the number of dislikes is 1 lakh. And after this, Amit Malviya, who's the BJP IT cell, he responded to these claims of Supriya Shrinate and said that Congress used fake screenshots to claim that the song had over 1 lakh dislikes. He cited the fact that YouTube stopped showing the number of dislikes in 2021. But if you know the technicalities, there is a third party always available on the YouTube, which does do a quantum study of the number of dislikes as well. But the big question here is that why this kind of a video in the middle of Bihar elections? Is brand Modi losing its sheen? Is Modi becoming a liability for the BJP and for the country as well? Joining me this evening is Ajay Gudavarti, who's a professor, author, columnist from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Thank you so much, Ajay, for joining. And first question, your reaction, of course, on this video which came out in the middle of the Bihar elections, and then Supriya Shrinate and the Congress IT department noting the fact that the number of dislikes has outnumbered the number of likes. What would you really say to this?
I think generally, apart from this video, Neelu, I think the general popularity appeal of Mr. Modi, especially after Trump's repeated announcements, regarding Operation Sindoor, and later, regarding Russian oil, Ukraine war, and 2024 elections, I think by and large put this spotlight on Modi's declining popularity. I think Modi, by and large, if you look at even Bihar election, though many are saying that this video is released in the context of Bihar election, but Bihar election is not fought on Modi's name. He's not the center stage. In fact, NDA has no credible no leader that is being represented in the Bihar elections who is being foregrounded. So by and large, I think this is a problem with strongmen who depend on euphoria, that they blow up their image, empty image so much that they have to look so infallible that Modi's graph kept they kept enlarging. He was a regional leader, from regional he became national, from national he was known as this international leader, from international he reached the moon with Chandrayaan, so that there's nothing left beyond the moon. So that's, I think, after that the only point is the graph has to go down, because people, I think, are in a mood to recalibrate and think of this empty image making. That Modi has, I think, fallen victim of his own image trap, that this infallibility image, that he will single-handedly win elections only through the pull of his own popularity, I think clearly is on decline. I think this video is a very small demonstration. That number of dislikes, I think, is a very small demonstration of that. The crisis for the BJP is much larger, that Modi now by and large has become a liability. Now they have to again artificially pump up his image, because they have because Modi wouldn't allow any other any other leader to take center stage. So I think BJP is caught in that quandary that Modi is not working, but Modi wouldn't allow anybody else to take over from him. So that is the spot in which I think the BJP is right now.
Right. But Ajay, what would you really say to the Bollywood stars who've been asked to feature in this song? Now they are also trying to sing Modi Hai To Mumkin Hai to the beats of the drums, and of course with the picturization of the shining flyovers, the roads, G20 summit. What do you think is the objective of this particular video?
I mean, the video itself is fairly crass, and I don't think it has an aesthetic value to really appeal. This is a very old story Modi has been telling for last 15 years. Large roads, big buildings, Chandrayaan, Ayodhya temple. I mean, these are done and dusted. In democracies, people are always looking forward to new issues, and people are looking forward to basic issues. I think that euphoria which Mr. Modi created in 2014 and also 2019 is not that was not there even in 2024 election. That's why the results are it's clearly visible. So to again create that same old narrative, Modi hai to mumkin hai, I think is going to fall flat. As far as the actors, I mean, Nilu, who is free in this country anymore? I mean, there is a notion of fear everywhere. There's a looming, large fear. In fact, I was talking to a Bollywood director sometime back when I was in Mumbai, and she said it in so many words that even during Mr. Modi's birthday, Mr. Amir Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, everybody was nearly almost compelled to kind of put out those voluntary, quote unquote, voluntary videos wishing Mr. Modi. I mean, it's both a sad affair for the actors, but it's also a sad affair for Mr. Modi himself that on a birthday he has to get illicit wishes. We want genuine friends to have genuine wishes, but to elicit by force or by I don't know payment or whatever, it cuts a sorry story. But more specifically on this video, I think as you said, this video is geared towards Bihar elections, and you have to look at the social configuration of these actors. That you have the MY formulation. I think that's working behind this. So even artists are reduced to their caste and their religious backgrounds, and that is where they feel there would be an appeal. But the fact that will people be able to see through these kind of strategies? Only when there is big euphoria, people may not see through. People go with the flow. But when that euphoria is missing, people might be able to make out these strategies. So this kind of a very strategic pitching of videos at a certain I think now people are beginning to realize and will discuss, and that's where the challenge will be for the BJP, because BJP and RSS have relied so much on these manufactured narratives, manufactured agendas, image making, PR activity, that all that happened around brand Modi. Once that brand Modi has no longer has that appeal, what is the way forward for them? That will be an interesting thing for us to wait and watch.
Right. Prime Minister Modi is on a trip to Bihar. Of course, he is busy with the campaign rallies. And what the news just coming in is that today, during one of the campaign rallies, he has said that Rahul and Tejasvi Yadav, they are trying to abuse me, and they are trying to call Chhat Puja a natak or a drama. Now, what do you think? Is he trying to play a victim card now? Because he knows that his image is losing sheen. He knows that BJP's charisma is almost over. People are looking forward not to BJP, but to JDU. And, there is a certain climb down. Look at all the BJP leaders, whether it is Samrat Chaudhary, whether it is Amit Shah, whether it is Chirag Paswan. Earlier, they had all said that it will be an NDA chief minister. Now everybody is back to saying that Nitish Kumar. So what do you think? I mean, about the prime minister when he says that Rahul and Tejasvi are abusing him? Is it a realization that somewhere down the line things are not working well for BJP and NDA in Bihar?
Yeah, and I think there's no doubt in that. It's an uphill challenge, which is not to say opposition is having a wave, but it has become an uphill challenge. And Modi and BJP are winning more through use of money. Look at the strategy of giving 10,000 in the last minute. They use the same scheme, something similar, Ladli Behan in Maharashtra. So every election after election, it is this last minute doling out of direct cash transfers has been one big. The second is the organizational heft of RSS and BJP, that their booth level workers, they have that additional strength over the opposition. These are the two things that is marking out the advantage to BJP or opposition. It is no longer Mr. Modi's popularity. So even in the campaign in Bihar, it's very clear that Modi is not the center stage. And popularity of a leader, Nilu, also depends on the popularity of the leaders in opposition. I think Rahul's credibility gradually has gone up. That Rahul has been sticking to some basic issues, has been raising certain basic core issues. Apart from vote chori, now they've started linking vote chori to education, employment, migration, distress migration. So these are the issues that are troubling people. And that to go back, this kind of a strategy Mr. Modi has employed repeatedly. And if you go back to Gujarat election, he began by saying Manmohan and Hamid Ansari gave Supari for against him. No, in Karnataka, he said similar things. Now he's saying his mother is being abused. Now he's saying he is being abused. And Chhat Puja, I
No,
mean, Chhat Puja
in fact,
thing
he
has
also went
fallen
to the
flat.
in fact, he also went to the extent of saying that Visheshadhikar Prapt Log, as in Rahul and Tejasvi, are from privileged families and they cannot see the rise of a prime minister who's from a poor background, who's from a backward background. So, this is what exactly he meant when he said this. So, what would you make of a statement like this?
I mean that has been his strong point in the last 10 years of his political journey. That this anti-elitist card that he played, that Rahul and others are entitled, which is partly true, that they come from certain privileged backgrounds, and he made his way. In the hard up way is a fact that everybody knows, and everybody I think did identify with him as a strong leader because of that. But then that everything has a shelf life. You can't keep playing the same card again and again, saying that you can't say that I am poor and I'm a poor mother's son, and then your link with Adani and Ambani is there for everyone to see. So just because you're poor, your policies are pro corporate. Somebody might be more entitled, but his concern might be more genuine for poor, which is what is coming across again with Rahul Gandhi. That is concern and compassion for the weak is people are now generally getting convinced is pretty genuine. How much is able to do, what is able to do, whether it was the Haryana police officer suicide, whether it is a stampede, wherever there is an incident, Rahul is there. I mean, there is a compassion, and he's with those victim families. So those images have changed. They have taken kind of, they have shifted around. That puzzle card has shifted around a bit. So I think now for Modi to say that वो नामदार है, हम कामदार है, and हमारे पास ये नहीं है, I think that's a bit it now looks a bit jarring, and also given Modi's own lavish lifestyle, that it doesn't now go well. I mean, things can turn on their head after a point in time. If you stretch them too much, they actually
Right.
become counterproductive. Now it is very difficult for Mr. Modi, being in power for 25 years, to play an underdog. Nobody will believe that he is an underdog. On one hand, you claim to be a supra non-biological, and then suddenly you become a victim. I think that's very difficult for him. He did that. It succeeded for 10 years. Now I think that's not going to work.
No, but not only that, he's also calling Rahul and Tejasvi as the prince of corruption, Bhrashtachar ke Yuvraj. This is the kind of phrase which he has used. And he said that both of them belong to families where people have been involved in multi-crore corruption scams and they are out on bail. This is also what he has said. So by raking in corruption, do you think he's going to succeed? Will that magic work now in Bihar at all?
Look, I mean, it's a public knowledge that today BJP is the richest political party in the world, not in India, in the world. So, to the head of such a party to turn around and tell someone that they are more corrupt and they are have practiced corrupt practices. Again, I mean, there is a limit to this. Yes, all political parties have had their share of history of this kind of things, but then people are going to weigh one against the other. That now that had Modi been really a kind of a champion of cleaning
Uh,
up corruption, black
yes.
money,
Yeah. For the
you have
perspective of the viewers,
demonetization. Huh?
for the for the perspective of the viewers, I'll just quote exactly what he has said about Rahul and Tejasvi. बिहार के चुनावी रण में दो युवक हैं जो खुद को युवराज मानते हैं. इन्होंने झूठे वादों की दुकानें खोल रखी हैं. एक भारत के सबसे भ्रष्ट परिवार का युवराज है और दूसरा बिहार के सबसे भ्रष्ट परिवार का युवराज है. दोनों हजारों करोड़ रुपए के घोटाले में जमानत पर बाहर हैं. This is exactly what he has said. And of course, before that, what I told you, that he's also mentioned about a lot of other things, that they are trying to disrespect Chhat Puja and all of those things. Is all this going to cut ice really with the people of Bihar, do you think?
No, these are now non-issues for Bihar. The real crisis, Neelu, is that Bihar election people are voting for three things: educational opportunities, jobs, and health facilities. and migration. These are the four real issues that concern. But the real crisis really, Neelu, is that no political party has a alternative. No political party is giving people a concrete alternative as to how they are going to bring people out of this kind of a deep crisis. That the latest report, economic survey report, shows 89,000 government schools have been closed down under Modi's regime in the last 10 years, and bulk of which are in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. This is not an irony that is lost on anyone, that the most backward states are where the most government schools are closed down. And that those are the basic issues I think people will rally around. Biharis especially is a very politically informed place. I think playing around on chat and these things may work with a small, tiny upper caste, middle classes who are generally prone to this kind of narrative style. But people on the ground, they wouldn't be. But the real crisis is that that doesn't mean that Modi's failure will, that opposition will immediately catch that imagination, because opposition is also unable to say anything concrete as how they should come out with time-bound programs to say how they're going to create jobs, how many jobs, how are they going to stop migration, what are the alternative industries, where are they going to get investments. I think this is a kind of a plan that Mahagathbandhan should have put before people, a time bound. Both Telangana and Karnataka, when Congress won, they had 5 promises with time bound, and Rahul came out and said that it is my personal responsibility to see to that I will fulfill all these 5 promises, which are time bound promises. I'm a little worried and little concerned as to why they did not adopt this method in Bihar. That they should have come with a time-bound, policy frame and said that they should have implemented. Vote Chori gave them that early initiative. No, Vote Chori gave them that momentum. They have linked that Vote Chori to this, but they should now come out with a concrete plan. That how are they going to stop migration? I mean, lakhs of people migrating out of Bihar. How are they going just taking out a yatra and saying there is a crisis of migration, which everybody knows? You don't need to do a yatra to tell Bihari people, look, there is migration. You don't have to tell people of Bihar that there is poverty. You don't have to tell people of Bihar there is educational crisis. That they know. What they want is your promises to how you're going to bail them out of this crisis. What is your concrete plan? I think opposition should still, there is time, work on that plan. Bring out a time-bound, phase-wise manner, and you will see there will be a huge swing for Mahagathbandhan.
You are saying that there'll be a huge swing for Mahagathbandhan. But what about the propaganda machinery of BJP, the IT cell? Are they also, falling short of the narrative? They don't have any new story to tell. Time and again, Modi has been talking about his big jhola, which he carries. Main to jhola uthakar kabhi bhi chala jaunga. Then it seemed that all these years he had bags of stories to tell the people, but even that bags of stories seems to be khali absolutely now. So what does it really go to show? That is he on a severe decline, and which is why apparently the IT cell, his PR machinery, his brand managers all have completely failed now to save the image.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think narratives have power to capture people's imagination when there are two things: hope and surprise element. That people have big hopes for the future, that this year is a leader who will completely transform their lives. And Modi, when he came in 2014, came with that kind of a promise. And the second element that captures people's imagination, these narratives capture people's imagination, is when there's a surprise element. That you can always bring a new surprise. You're somebody who swims against the tide, goes against the grain, and then pulls no punches. That's the image. And Mr. Modi had both these images. That is someone who could spring a surprise, who can go against the grain, who was an underdog. And Modi is also someone who would bring big time transformation. I think 15 years now, he's closing in on 15 years, in fact 25 years, and there is no grand transformation. Now they have shifted it to Viksit Bharat 2047. Now, I mean, that's too far a thing. You cannot have immediate cash transfers and then ask people to wait for 2020 or 47, which is like another 20 years down the line. I don't think that is working. So I think there is a complete in this zero sum game, you hit a dead end. I think BJP and RSS have hit a dead end. They have exhausted their main agenda: Article 370, Ayodhya, triple talaq, UCC, and that's all gone, dead and done and dusted. What is left? You will have to now come back to economic developmental issues. You will have to now come back to link culture with developmental issues, which is what they're trying with Chet and increasing with roads development. But that model of development Mr. Modi is presenting is a big man's development, big roads, big Chandrayaan. Who is this going to benefit? He's not, this is a moment he should have said 100% literacy for India in next 10 years. 100% health facilities for India in next 5 years, 100% employment right to work. That would have taken the Modi story forward. But he is not willing to do that because Modi is not a pro-poor prime minister. Modi's model of development is a very pro-corporate development. So he will not be allowed to do that. I mean, if he does that, Adani and Ambani will obviously demand their pound of flesh. So he cannot go down that path. So he's
Absolutely.
caught. His model is exhausted. It's a structural problem for him that he has to keep doing only this. Mera maa ko gali diya, mera bhai ko kiya. All this is fine as long people have personal, emotional identification. When even that has eroded, what is, that's where I think for Amit Shah, it's a problem is not for Modi. It's problem is for Amit Shah that he has to carry forward Modi's, heavy weight and yet bail through BJP in election after election. I think
True.
my real sympathy is for Amit Shah, not for Modi.
But you rightly pointed out, of course, the sympathy for Amit Shah. But the two things which you really pointed out, that's quite significant. One is that the BJP and the RSS have hit a dead end, and the other one is, of course, the Modi model, which looks completely exhausted now. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Ajay, for joining on Public Global. Thank you.